Marcus Chen stared at his laptop screen, the words blurring through his tears. Your position has been eliminated, effective immediately. AI-driven automation has assumed your role. 27 years old, and he'd just been replaced by an algorithm. He sat in his small studio apartment, surrounded by the remnants of what he thought would be his future. Stanford computer science degree on the wall, employee of the month plaque from 6 months ago, photos of him and his late mother at his graduation. She'd worked 3 jobs to put him through school, died of a heart attack 2 years after he graduated, never got to see him truly succeed, and now this. It had been 3 months since the layoff, 3 months of watching his savings drain like water through his fingers. 3 months of rejection emails that all said the same thing: we've decided to go with AI-driven solutions. 3 months of applying to over 200 jobs, only to discover that the entire industry was hemorrhaging workers. If you wrote code, you were being replaced by something that wrote it faster, cheaper, and never needed sleep. His landlord had given him until Friday, that was tomorrow. He'd sold everything: his gaming PC, his furniture, even his mother's jewelry, which had broken something inside him. He had $47 in his bank account and nowhere to go. Marcus looked at his phone, no calls, no texts, his friends had stopped reaching out. His girlfriend had left him 2 months ago, said she couldn't handle his negativity. He was alone. He opened his laptop one last time and typed into the search bar, "painless ways to end suffering." The results loaded, clinical and cold, just like the email that had ended his career, just like the world that had decided he was obsolete at 27. Marcus closed his laptop. He knew where he was going. The Golden Gate Bridge wasn't actually golden in the evening light, it was rust red, almost the color of dried blood. Marcus stood at the railing, looking down at the dark water below. It was late, and the foot traffic was light, perfect. He'd left his phone in his apartment, unlocked, with a note as the screensaver: "I'm sorry, the world doesn't need me anymore, Marcus." Maybe someone would care that a human being had been erased by code. The wind was cold, cutting through his thin jacket. He hadn't eaten in 2 days, couldn't afford to and couldn't see the point. His hands gripped the railing, knuckles white. All he had to do was climb over. 3 seconds of falling, then peace. "You planning to jump, son?" An old man stood about 10 feet away, leaning on a worn cane. He was maybe 65, maybe older, hard to tell under the gray beard and the weathered skin. "Leave me alone," Marcus said, turning back to the water. "Can't do that," the old man said, limping closer. "Lost too many brothers to do that." "I'm not your brother, you're somebody's son, that makes you my brother." The old man leaned against the railing beside Marcus, close enough that Marcus could smell him, unwashed, street-worn, but somehow not offensive, just human. "I'm William, Army, 2 tours in Afghanistan, lost my leg, lost my mind, lost my family, been on these streets for 12 years now." "Then you should understand," Marcus said bitterly, "the world doesn't want us, we're obsolete." William laughed, a rough sound like gravel in a can. "Obsolete, that's a fancy word for thrown away." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small paper bag. "I got 2 sandwiches here. Some church group handed them out this morning. Already ate one, you want the other?" "I'm not hungry." "Bullshit, I can hear your stomach from here. Take it, last meal, if that's what you're planning. But eat it first, food tastes better than regret, trust me." Marcus stared at the bag, his stomach cramped with hunger, betraying him. "Why do you care?" "Because 16 years ago, I stood exactly where you're standing," William said quietly, "had a gun in my mouth, and some random kid on a skateboard rolled by and said, 'Nice jacket, soldier,' that's it, just 3 words. But it reminded me I was a soldier, soldiers don't quit. So I took the gun out of my mouth and decided to live one more day, then another, been living one more day at a time ever since." Marcus took the sandwich, turkey and cheese, wrapped in plastic. His hands shook as he unwrapped it. The first bite was the best thing he'd ever tasted, and he hated himself for it. Hated that his body still wanted to live even though his mind had given up. "What happened to you?" William asked. "You look too young and too clean to be on the streets yet. So you're on your way there, or you're on your way down." He gestured at the water below. Marcus told him. The words poured out between bites of sandwich: the AI replacement, the job search, the money running out, his mother's death, the girlfriend leaving. William listened without interrupting, just nodding occasionally. When Marcus finished, William was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "So they replaced you with a robot. And you figured, if a robot can do what you do, then what's the point of you?" "Exactly." William nodded slowly, then he hit Marcus in the shoulder, not hard, but enough to sting. "That's the dumbest shit I ever heard." Marcus blinked. "What? You think you're worthless because a machine can write code? Son, a machine can do lots of things, can't do everything though." William pointed at the sandwich wrapper in Marcus's hand. "That machine that replaced you, can it recognize when someone's about to jump off a bridge? Can it give a shit can it share its last meal with a stranger? See, I learned something in Afghanistan. We had all this high-tech gear, drones and computers and fancy weapons, but you know what won battles? Humans. Humans making split-second decisions based on gut feelings that no computer could calculate, humans caring about the guy next to them more than their own skin. They replaced you at one job, so what? That means you gotta find a different job, use that big brain of yours differently. There are no jobs, Marcus said, AI is taking over everything, then stop competing with AI, William said simply. Start working with it, or start doing what AI can't do. Marcus stared at the old veteran, something shifted in his chest, like a door opening just a crack. You really believe that? I'm standing on a bridge at midnight talking to a suicidal kid when I could be sleeping under the overpass, William said. Yeah, I believe it. Because if I didn't believe humans mattered more than machines, I'd have eaten both those sandwiches and let you jump. Marcus laughed, a broken sound that turned into a sob. William put a weathered hand on his shoulder and didn't say anything, just stood there while Marcus cried for the first time since his mother died. When Marcus finally stopped, he felt empty but somehow lighter. I don't have anywhere to go, he admitted. I'm being evicted tomorrow. Welcome to the club, William said. There's a shelter about 2 miles from here, St. Anthony's. They got beds, hot meals, and a guy who helps people find work. I'll walk you there. Why? Marcus asked. Why are you helping me? William smiled. Because someone helped me once, and maybe someday you'll help someone else. That's how it works. We keep each other alive until we figure out how to live again. They walked off the bridge together, the homeless veteran limping on his prosthetic leg, and the fired tech worker carrying nothing but the clothes on his back and a new, fragile sense of purpose. 2 years passed. Marcus stood in a gleaming office on the 23rd floor of a downtown San Francisco high-rise, looking out over the city. Behind him, his team of 12 engineers worked at their stations, but this wasn't a typical tech company. The office walls were covered with thank you letters, photos of smiling faces, and a mission statement in 6-foot letters. Technology should serve humanity, not replace it. Chen Solutions had launched 18 months ago with a radical idea: create an AI platform that didn't replace workers but helped them transition to new careers. The platform helped 47,000 workers find new jobs and was valued at $50 million. Marcus owned 60% of it. But he couldn't enjoy it, because every success reminded him of the man who'd saved his life, and he'd never said thank you. Marcus had gone back to the bridge 3 times in the past 2 years, looking for William. He'd checked the shelters, asked around, nothing. It was like William had vanished, and Marcus was haunted by the possibility that the old veteran had finally lost his battle with the streets. Do you still have that contact at the VA? Marcus asked his assistant. I need her to search their database for someone. A veteran named William. Served in Afghanistan, lost his leg, been homeless for over a decade, would be around 65 to 70 now. Last name, I don't know, Marcus admitted. But he saved my life, and I need to find him. The search took 3 days. They found him on the 3rd day. William Patterson, age 68, Army Sergeant First Class, currently residing at the Mission Street Extended Stay Shelter. Medical notes indicated advanced diabetes, heart condition, and early-stage kidney failure. Prognosis: 6 months to 2 years without significant intervention. Marcus read the file with his heart in his throat. William was dying. The man who'd saved his life was dying alone in a shelter. Cancel everything, Marcus told Jennifer. I need to go to Mission Street, now. The Mission Street shelter was exactly what Marcus expected and worse. Gray walls, the smell of industrial cleaner fighting a losing battle against human despair. A tired-looking volunteer led Marcus to the back corner. That's Sergeant Patterson, she said, pointing to a thin figure lying on a bed, staring at the ceiling. Marcus walked over slowly. William looked older, thinner, more worn. But when Marcus stopped beside his bed, those sharp eyes turned to look at him, and recognition flickered immediately. Well, shit, William said, his voice rough but carrying a hint of a smile. You're alive. Because of you, Marcus said, his voice breaking. William struggled to sit up, and Marcus quickly helped him, adjusting the thin pillow behind his back. Up close, Marcus could see how sick William really was. The yellow tint to his skin, the tremor in his hands, the way each breath seemed to cost him. You look good, son, William said. Real good. Guess you figured out that thing about being human instead of competing with robots. I built a company, Marcus said, an AI company, actually, but one that helps people instead of replacing them. We've helped almost 50,000 workers. We're worth $50 million. William's eyes widened. 50 million, damn, son, that's some Silicon Valley shit right there. I tried to find you, Marcus said urgently, for 2 years, to say thank you, to tell you that you saved my life and you changed everything. I gave you a sandwich, William said with a shrug, and some old man wisdom. That ain't worth 50 million. It's worth everything. Marcus pulled out his phone. I need you to come with me, right now, to a hospital. The VA records say you're sick. I'm getting you treatment, the best treatment money can buy." William laughed, then coughed. "Son, I appreciate the thought, but I'm 68 years old with more problems than a math book. I'm expensive to fix, and I ain't gonna live forever anyway." "I don't care about the cost," Marcus said fiercely. "You gave me your last meal when you had nothing. You saved my life, let me save yours." William grabbed his hand, grip surprisingly strong. "You can't save me, but you know what you can do. Keep doing what you're doing, keep helping people." Marcus shook his head. "No, that's not enough. You're coming to the hospital, and then you're coming to work for me. Director of Human Resources and Veteran Affairs, salary, $150,000 a year plus full medical benefits. Your job, find people who are struggling and remind them they're human, remind them they matter, just like you did for me." 2 years later, William stood at a podium in Chen Solutions headquarters, healthy and strong. "I'm going to tell you something that might sound crazy. 2 years ago, I was dying in a shelter. Today, I'm helping others find hope, because one young man refused to let me give up. That's the power of humans choosing to care. We keep each other alive until we figure out how to really live."